My heart raced when I received this confirmation. The Buffalo Bills are going to sign a name that can ignite the offense or solidify the defense like never before. Imagine the scene. Josh Allen at the line of scrimmage, seconds on the clock, the game in his hands, and on the other side, running a perfect route, is Terry McLaurin. Sound like a dream? Well, this could be the reality unfolding for the Buffalo Bills. A mock trade published by The Athletic shook the NFL by putting McLaurin's name directly on Buffalo's radar, and the impact could be huge. The proposal in question involves wide receiver Curtis Samuel and a 2026 fifth-round draft pick in exchange for the Washington Commanders' top target. It's an aggressive offer, but one that would make sense for both parties, especially considering what's at stake. The real chance to pair one of the NFL's most talented receivers with a quarterback in the prime of his career. McLaurin, 28, isn't just looking to leave Washington. He's publicly frustrated with the lack of a new contract and is looking for a moment to capitalize on his talent. And the timing couldn't be better for Buffalo. Although Josh Allen had an MVP-worthy season, their receiving corps suffered a significant loss with Khalil Shakir's injury, and Amari Cooper, acquired last year, has yet to re-sign, leaving doubts in the air. In this scenario, McLaurin wouldn't be a compliment. He'd be the guy. His immediate arrival would bring depth, explosiveness to the offense. In Washington, he survived instability, average quarterbacks, and system changes, and still surpassed 1,000 yards in 3 consecutive seasons. Put that on the same field as an Allen thirsting for a Super Bowl, and the result could be devastating for NFL defenses. But how can this fit into the Bills' budget, already struggling with a tight salary cap? Reporter Nikki Jabvala suggests a solution. Releasing the $6.9 million guaranteed from Curtis Samuel's contract could open up enough cap space to absorb McLaurin. And from the Commanders' perspective, the trade would also secure an experienced player to keep the offense competitive in the short term, as well as future draft capital. More than just a hypothetical trade, this simulation represents something bigger: the Bills' mindset. It's not just about competing, it's about showing the rest of the league, especially the Chiefs, that Buffalo won't wait any longer, that the time to win is now, that the window is open, and no one wants to see it close with yet another almost in the history of time. McLaurin's arrival would completely change the tone of the offense, balancing the passing game with a receiver who can beat double teams, stretch the field, and be the safe escape on third downs. A true WR1, and not out of necessity, but out of merit. And this move could be just the beginning, because if the offense is being revamped to be unbeatable, the defense is too, going through important adjustments, starting with a tough decision involving an old acquaintance of the fans. Amid this offensive movement, the Bills' defense also saw significant changes. Linebacker Balin Spector, a 7th-round pick in 2022, was released with an injury designation after a series of physical issues that affected his continued presence on the roster. To fill his spot, the team signed Jimmy Tiarlo, a former Army linebacker and high school captain with a history of overcoming challenges and leadership. Spector's departure wasn't a complete surprise, but it still represents a symbolic moment. The 26-year-old has struggled with injuries since his arrival in the NFL. In 2024, he played in 11 games and recorded a league-high 40 tackles, but a calf injury slowed him down again in the final weeks of the season. Throughout minicamp and recent practices, his name was surpassed on the depth chart by Joe Andreessen, which raised alarm bells. On the other hand, Tiarlo's arrival brings a name with a different profile. Although he had a brief stint with the Jets, interrupted by knee surgery in his first preseason, the linebacker has the added bonus of being a disciplined, technical player with excellent game reading. His experience as a leader at Army and his resilient spirit could be important assets in the Bills' locker room, especially on a defense still trying to reorganize after losing key players in recent years. Tiarlo may not be the name fans were hoping for, but his presence represents the Bills' typical gamble, betting on character, effort, and a willingness to contribute. He arrives as an underdog, but history has shown that in Buffalo, this could be the start of something big. And speaking of potential big names, league chatter has been buzzing about a bold move that could further strengthen the Bills' defensive line. Now picture this: Joey Bosa on one side, Gregory Rousseau on the other, and between them, storming in, Kayvon Thibodeaux. If you think this sounds like the formation of an unbeatable captain, you're not alone. NFL insiders are abuzz with rumors that the Buffalo Bills may be making a bold move to bring in the explosive New York Giants pass rusher, an addition that would completely change the face of the defense and the narrative of the season. According to Christopher Knox of Bleacher Report, the Bills are being seen as an ideal destination for Thibodeaux, who was the 5th overall pick in the 2022 draft and recorded an impressive 11.5 sacks in 2023. Knox's proposed proposal involves sending a second-round pick in the 2026 draft and defensive tackle Daquan Jones to the Giants. A trade that, while it may be a trade, would make a lot of sense for both sides. The logic is clear. The Giants have already invested heavily in the edge rusher pressure position with the signing of Brian Burns and the selection of Abdul Carter, a college prospect who promises to be rare in the NFL. With this international competition and a potential budget gap, Thibodeaux could indeed be available, and that's where Buffalo comes in full force. For the Bills, this would be a rare opportunity to combine talent, youth, and explosiveness under one roof. Thibodeaux is known for his ability to generate instant pressure, his impressive agility for a 6 feet 4 inches and 265-pound player, and, most importantly, his mentality on the field. Pairing him alongside Boza, Rousseau, and A.J. Epineza would create a veritable nightmare for any offensive line in the league. We're talking about an elite rotation, the kind that decides games, forces turnovers, and suffocates QBs from the first snap. But how can they fit another star into the Bills' tight salary cap? The answer lies in Thibodeaux's contract. His financial impact would be just $10 million in 2025, a mere drop compared to what he can deliver. The departure of Daquan Jones, who already has a high salary and is advancing in age, would immediately open up space for the new reinforcement. This potential trade wouldn't be just another off-season move. It would be a masterstroke. The Bills know their window to win the Super Bowl is wide open, but they also know it could close quickly. Therefore, every move now needs to be calculated, clinical, and with complete focus on the title. And adding Thibodeaux to the mix elevates Buffalo to another level. Furthermore, with the AFC increasingly embroiled in lethal offenses, led by names like Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Lamar Jackson, it's crucial that the Bills not only resists, but wins. And Thibodeaux, just 24 years old and hungry for the spotlight, could be the difference between another frustrating elimination and a run to Las Vegas in February. Even though Thibodeaux hasn't reached his full potential yet, the signs are clear. He's a generational talent. And with the Giants eager to hear offers, Brandon Beane needs to act fast. Because in a scenario where the difference between a championship or a supporting role can be a single play, one more sack could be all it takes for Buffalo to make history. In your opinion, which of these moves would have the biggest immediate impact? McLaurin as WR1, Thibodeaux in the pass rush, or a complete defensive overhaul? Leave your opinion here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, but I'll be back later to update you with the latest Buffalo Bills news.